Right. What is up? I'm ripwsb and this is Spiritfarer. Going to be doing the any percent run. And guess we'll just go ahead and hop into it. Plenty of time to explain stuff and plenty of time to just enjoy the game as well. So I guess without further ado, we'll do a little countdown and get going then. We're going to start from a new file. Be starting in single player, and we'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, we start with the opening cutscene that kind of gives a little background about the what we're going to be doing, but we're just going to skip that and get right into the action. We are Stella. We are this little human with a really cool hat, and Daffodil is our little cat right there. And basically in that opening cutscene, Charon is going through this Everdor and basically going into the afterlife and has tasked us with being the new Spiritfarer. So we need to go around, collect spirits, see to any needs that they have basically, and then carry them to the Everdor where they can pass through and pass on to the afterlife. Basically this game overall is just a cozy management game about dying. Kind of what the pitch was from the devs. Thunder Lotus Games out of Canada. This was released back in August of 2020. And we meet our first spirit here, Gwen, which is a cool little deer. A lot of button mashing to go through text in this game. There's a bunch of text. It's a weird game to speedrun because it's a very nice, despite it being kind of about death, it's a very just pretty chill game. So we skip a lot of dialogue. It kind of helps keep things less sad, skipping through all the stuff that they talk about, but I highly recommend playing the game casually, as it was very well done. But first thing we're going to do is head back to the island where we came from and grab some resources. That is a huge priority for the whole run, is just procuring our resources that we need for all sorts of stuff later on in the run. We got to build stuff. Sometimes spirits will need things. There's cooking, there's fishing, there's mining. But there's a couple of these crates that were in the water once we leave the this Alt Harbor, our starting location. We're gonna grab whatever we can. It's random what's in there. Oh, sometimes getting out of the water can be tough. We grab the ladder. There we go. So you never really know what you're gonna get, but usually what we're looking for is just glass bottles and oak logs. And then Gwen talks to us about seeing Albert, the ship guy, and he's going to be our go-to point if we want to upgrade the boat, upgrade the blueprint table, which we don't even have yet, and add ins and odds to the boat that helps it either travel faster, travel to areas that we can't get to right now. But outside of opening those crates, there's not much we can do, so we're just going to fish. We're going to hopefully get enough fish that we can cook and sell them pretty early on to get enough money to buy some seeds that we'll need. So we're hoping to get about 10 fish total. I don't know what the odds are for shoes versus fish, but so far I think that was 2 shoes to 1 fish, 2 boots. But all right, I think we're even now, 2 and 2. But yeah, the early game is pretty relaxed. There's not a whole lot we can do right now. We're just kind of going from spot to spot. Gwen is our sole passenger at the moment, but we will be picking more up pretty soon. So Gwen isn't related to Stella at all, but she was a friend from Stella pretty much up until adulthood, and they were pretty close. She was more of a older sister figure for Stella, and guess Stella, just in general, is a pretty interesting character, and this whole journey, the game, is basically to get to the end and to have Stella go through the Ever Door. Because she is battling a disease that will take her life, so this is all kind of like her fever dream at the end, where she's going back through her life and reliving moments and kind of helping others, because that's what she did as a profession. We meet Albert. He's going to talk to us about what we can do with the ship, talk to us about the blueprint table, which he's going to offer for free, which is nice. Everything else we'll have to pay for, either with resources and money or just money. Now we have our blueprint table, so we can build on the ship. We start off with just a small area that we can build in, but we'll be able to increase the boat size the further into the game we go. Gwen's just asking us to try out the blueprint table and clear the deck. We get rid of all that garbage, get some supplies ourselves. And then she's talking about wanting a guest house. So now that we have the supplies from salvaging everything on the ship, we can build that for her. We can get 2 quick little fishes in while we wait for her to walk over, and then we'll talk to her. And we're on our way to a jellyfish event, which is Gwen's specialty, and that will allow us to get a very specific item resource called bright jellies, which we'll need not that many of. There's 3 jellyfish events we'll do to get all of the green jellies that we need, or bright jellies. Usually we have enough time to get 2 fish, talk to Gwen, and then the sky will get really dark and we'll start the jellyfish event. But we're only going to get the first 2 because we'll just be doing multiple events, and we'll be trying to get the quickest. There's usually, I think, like 2 patterns of jellyfish for every other event except this starting one. I think the starting one, you usually just always get the same pattern of jellies that come from right to left. So we're going to grab this other green one, and then we're just going to save and quit. The smaller ones will give you glims, which is the money of the game. So they're kind of useful, but mainly the beginning is where the money is a little tight. Once we start visiting islands, then we'll start to really pick up a lot of money from getting valuables and 130. That's pretty close. Getting like tchotchkes or little like knickknacks and stuff. We get gems and ores, which we can sell for a lot of money. As long as you're pretty close to where you want on the map, it'll take you to where you need to go. So it doesn't quite have to be right on there. Oh yeah, I guess we can go ahead and we can build the kitchen now, thanks to the bright jellies we just picked up. Yeah, that was the whole point of that. Gwen gives us some popcorn, or some corn that we're going to put in the oven and make into popcorn, because she is very hungry. And once that's done, we're going to immediately put in some fish and cook the fish. They get a little bit more value that we can sell them later on. We'll pop in for, hopefully catch some more fish on the way to where we're going. Give Gwen the popcorn. They'll give us an obol, which each spirit we pick up has an obol that they can give us for doing various things for them. And we can exchange these obols at various islands for new abilities. And the little belt buckle that Stella has and Daffodil's little collar is something that the Garon gave us, which is an Everlight, and it allows us to have all these special abilities and also be able to do things like take the food out of the oven. It turns into oven mitts. We can cut down trees. So that little like ball of light is our special tool throughout the run. So basically every island we go to, we're going to gather all the resources we can. Well, this one, there's, I think, 2 or 3 maple trees that will cut down. Those 2 berry bushes, which will kind of come in handy later. The trees can give anywhere from 8 to 9 logs. So we're always hoping for the most logs. That one we got 8. And then we can also use our Everlight to pickaxe. If you have 2 good swings, you can break a node like that. And those will give either 7 or 8 of whatever ore. That one happened to be limestone. So we got our resources from Mossstein Cove, and we are going to head to Barkenshire Creek. Down there. So since we cut down those trees, we are able to build the field, which is kind of the next part of Gwen's quest line. Since we picked up those crates early on, we have access to seeds, so I'm just going to go ahead and plant these and get them out of the way. If you salvage the field or whatever, and it's got stuff, then you'll lose that, so I just want to get that out of the way so it doesn't interfere with trying to plant stuff later on. We do need rice, so that's a nice little pickup from the early RNG of those crates. So we'll just go ahead and plant that, and we'll save it for later. Got our fish cooking. We'll see if we can catch some more fish. And yeah, just kind of chill for now. Yeah, Stella is a palliative nurse, I believe, and she takes care of patients that are like soon to die or not doing very well, and kind of eases their final days, basically. And so that's kind of what she's doing in this game for all the spirits. Is kind of being with them in their final days before they go through the Everdoor and go pass on to the afterlife. So Stella's family, I think, moved. They lived in northeastern France for a while, and then later on she moved to Quebec with her mom and sister, and then was working in Hawkesbury as the nurse. And when she moved out and left her mom and sister to live on her own, and Daffodil was kind of the family pet, and she just took him along with her, so had a nice friend to hang out with us. So we got 4 grilled fish. We're gonna plop 4 more in there. We need 2 extra fish, which we already have. I'll see if I can get 1 more just in case. Never hurts to have some backups, but later on we'll need the fish for various things, so it's nice to go ahead and just get it now and get it out of the way when there's not really much else we can do. Alright, 1 more fish, that's not bad. This bell's here, so when the day passes to night, we cannot travel at night, so we'll sleep once it gets late enough. Then once we get up in the morning, we'll need to wake up all the spirits, and that's where the bell comes in. We made our way to Barkenshire Creek. You're going to cut down this maple and then interact with Gwen to progress that quest line. Down some more trees. And she's basically talking about the field that we've already made, but then she'll talk about how we need to go buy some seeds for the field, and how we need to go to Hummingberg, which is why that little spot was lit up on the map when we opened the map earlier. And now we're going to pick up our second spirit. This is a frog, and represents Stella's uncle. So Uncle O'Toole will be joining us on the boat. Every time we interact with and pick up a spirit to bring on the boat, we go into them on the very far right of the boat, talk to them, and then they kind of materialize into their spirit animal. Get a tool. He has a specific event, which is our thunderstorms. He's also going to pimp out our fishing rod, so that's where he's heading. We're going to go and punch in our ticket to Hummingbird. And we're going to stop by and get some lightning in bottles on the way, now that we have a tool. He's going to help us out. Before we could only catch herring and boots. Now we can catch plenty more. This next one will always be a squid. It's just kind of like a little introduction into how to use the fishing rod. Now instead of just a guaranteed catch, sometimes the rod will go red and you kind of have to like let go, and it's more or less just like fishing. Got our squid. He's going to give us the obel. Now we have 2 obels. And he's going to head over here and we're going to have a lightning event. Where's he going to go? There he is. I need to remember to... We picked up a couple bottles when we were at... How many bottles do we... Alright, we have 12. That's not great, but it'll do. Now we're going to get 12 lightning in bottles. And once we have that, we're going to save and quit. And then for some reason, it's an unusually long load after you save and quit after exiting the thunderstorm early. But once we come back, we're going to continue our way to Hummingbird and go ahead and sleep. Eventually, it'll get so late that the ship will just stop running by itself. There's a little Z's on the top right. Once you get to there, there's nothing you can do but sleep. So there's a little bit of time before where you can just preemptively sleep, so you might as well just do that. And then the boat will continue moving wherever you send it to, so that's kind of nice. Ring the bell. Forget that we don't have double jump yet. We have our fish ready now. Grab those, keep the oven open for now. We're going to move the kitchen up and out of the way. We now have the ability to build the garden, which we'll need for the next spirit. And just go ahead and load up the garden with stuff. We actually have more than will fit in the garden, so I'm just gonna get rid of the extra stuff. The garden is ready to go for the next little bit of quest stuff, because we're going to be picking up our next spirit at Hummingbird. That is going to be Summer. She's going to be a snake, and it represents Stella's aunt from real life. We have a aunt and uncle, no relation to each other, but both related to Stella. Here we're going to make a quick pit stop. Pick up this chest. It's got a couple of carrot seeds, which we'll need later on. And then here's the first of many shrines. So we have the 2 obels, so we exchange those, and we Stella and Daffodil do our little T-pose, and we get the double jump ability. Then right away we're gonna use this ability to jump up and grab another chest that has like a necklace. Yeah, the necklace we can only sell at a certain spot, but it brings in quite a bit of money. So here I'm gonna interact with Gwen and then try and talk to this shop, and he has crazy high prices. So we're gonna talk to Gwen, and Gwen's gonna pretty much bully Theodore, this little raccoon guy, to bring down his prices. And these little raccoons will be on various islands where we can buy seeds, we can buy squid. Gonna buy corn, and then all the linen seed we can get. talk to Gwen again. So yeah, Theodore will sell seeds, some resources, not a whole lot, food stuff. And we carry on, grab 2 extra linen seeds, and then talk with Summer here. You can see the snake outline in the back. We save and quit just to get back to the rowboat quicker than it would be just to run all the way back. And we're going to invite or introduce Summer. Okay, I guess a little late now, but every time we bring a spirit, bit of a flashing lights warning. Sure. Or at shrines, I think there's a little bit of flashing lights too. Here we're gonna do a tiny little glitch with these bus stops. While we're traveling down there, we're going to go ahead. Oh yeah, I have double jump now. I'm gonna go ahead and start Summer's quest. So she's like, hey, can you plant some stuff? We already have stuff planted, so we can talk to her immediately again. And she gives us this sheet music, so we can play songs now and help our plants grow. This works for the garden, this works for the field, this works for... we have access to an orchard later on. I'll talk to Gwen as my phone rings right by the mic. So once we get close to the bus stop, we're going to punch in a very specific coordinates. About -70, 30-ish. And that's, I think, where you normally run into the bus stop. And this awesome dude is who will normally show up. Don't quite remember how this works, but I am glad it does. So we get access to the bus stop way earlier than you normally do. Here we're going to head to Bottom Line Core. Pick up yet another spirit. So right off the bat, we're loading up the boat with a bunch of people. Let's see. Done. So we don't really need the garden anymore. Yeah, that was my phone. I have it right by the mic. We're going to load up the field with stuff, and we're going to do another very useful trick where we use a second controller to do what we like to call fast growing. By kind of staggering when you start and stop the songs with both controllers, for some reason it just makes the stuff grow instantly. We're gonna grow a bunch of stuff on our way to Bottom Line Core. And this is pretty much a majority of what we'll need for the rest of the run that we need to grow. Occasionally we'll do the fast grow, but for the most part this will be all the growing that we'll need to do outside of like letting just time casually pass by and grow stuff. There is a spirit later on that's super helpful. Oh yeah, I do need to finish doing wind stuff too. That can make time pass. Kind of manipulate time with a bit of an exploit, so that person's super helpful as well. But in the meantime, fast grow is the way to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and go back to single player. Only do the co-op stuff for the fast grow. Shout out to Seeps5 is my co-op partner in life and games and everything. Playing this co-op is really nice. It helps get the resources you need a lot quicker when you can split up and do 2 things at once. So you can get to the boat before the text will show up. When the like the name of the place shows up, you can already kind of be on the way. save a little bit of time. So in Bottom Line Core, there's a bit of a protest going on. And Astrid, who is a lynx, kind of at the core of this. Fighting for the people. We have a bit of a labor dispute between all the workers, and we're going to be the go-to guy to go in between them. So we got some demands from the workers, and we're going to bring them up to the CEO up here. Grab some stuff on the way. We go back and forth between the two a few times. Whoops. Once is enough. And let's mine some coal on the way. When in Rome. Oops. Let go a little bit too early. Drop down. Still kind of working things out between the two sides. Still negotiating. Could be the last time. Finally gives in. And Astrid's pretty proud of what we've done, so she's gonna hop on board and travel with us now. And we're going to immediately feed Astrid with some food because she's going to be hungry. That will start her next quest bit where we go visit one of these huge, awesome turtles. We're just going to give her a berry. Not much, but sorry. She gives us an obol, which is nice. Tells us about Olga. So we're going to go visit Olga. One of 3 turtle sisters. As you can see by the big turtle picture on the map. We are going to avoid this thunderstorm. Which is kind of funny because we do need some more lightning in the bottle. But we don't really have any bottles at the moment. So yeah, we're just going to hold off on the thunderstorm. Because we need 17 total. We've got 12 now. We do need some more. Once we get around the lightning storm, we're going to be heading south a little bit to meet Olga. The turtles are really nice because they have 3 slots on their back where you can plant. You can plant wood, you can plant minerals, ores, and grow more resources. Once you plant stuff, you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can kind of reap what you've sown, I guess. But they will become very, very helpful later on once we have the ability to manipulate time a little bit more. Did I already talk to... Yeah. Oh, I should have probably built this earlier, but we're going to build Gwen's house. There's plenty of time to do Gwen stuff, so there's not a huge rush, but don't want to forget and then put off her quest line for too long and then to the point where we do need something. The Gwen will be the first spirit we take to the Everdor, and that is the shortest category that we have for this game is basically just called Gwen %, where we take her through the door, and then that's the end of that one. And that one's about what was it? 50 minutes, give or take, something like that. And then for any %, we have to go through, I believe, 8 spirits to reach the end of Stella's story. There's 13 spirits that you can meet and take to the Everdor. In total, there's 1 extra spirit that will never go through the Everdors. I think Buck was like, he's already been through there or something where he doesn't need to go, and it's a character that will just accompany you past like the point of everybody else leaving. So there's always at least somebody on the ship to kind of hang out with and give some smaller but some quests to do. So here we got a couple old pals, so they're just gonna be chatting it up a bit, sharing the latest gossip, talking about what they've been seeing and all the good stuff. Olga's going to mention something about Giovanni, which is Astrid's husband. And very tumultuous relationship between Astrid and Giovanni. So she's like, I don't care about him, but she kind of does, and she kind of doesn't. Here we're going to plant oak. I'm going to plant 1 maple, and we're going to plant limestone. Very specific resource needs based on what we can get later on islands. So we're going to say thank you to Olga. She's going to go underwater again, and next time we see her, she'll have those resources back. Now that we've picked up Astrid, done all this stuff, we are going to head back to Albert and upgrade the ship a bit. Go ahead and talk to Astrid. He's going to mention a little bit more about Giovanni. And we'll see him in a little bit. So on our way to Albert, we'll just go ahead and... Might be too early to sleep. Yep. Once the moon gets up, kind of around where the bed is, as high in the sky is when we can sleep. Till then, we do need to finish growing all this linen, but I'm just gonna wait. This is how you normally grow stuff. Play this little song mini game, and as you can see, how this grows normally is pretty slow. But while the game is kind of has elements of an action platformer, and it's like a real simple life simulation type of game, the resources that you need to finish the game aren't super crazy, so not too bad. Go ahead and sleep. That way we can head out once we finish our boat upgrades. And here you see at the bottom is Francis, which is like a little Indian monkey guy. And that's who we can sell our trinkets to and really get a lot of money. Our tchotchke is called. Oops, not buy. So we're going to sell our necklace, old carpet, all the stuff we found, and get quite a bit of money. Oh, we do want to buy, he sells glass bottles, so we're just going to buy all of them just to make sure we have enough. I think way more than we need, but we are good to go now for sure. We're going to see Albert. We're going to improve our blueprint station and also increase our boat size. I'm going to talk about wanting us to get a mailbox so our letters don't go through him. Do those two, which is basically all we can do at this moment. And now we're going to head west. Head to Greenhalton Bay. Here, we're just going to pick up resources, those spirits to run into. But while we're here, we're just going to spread stuff out. We are going to do a bit of a trick. Let's see. Called salvage storage. Or, it's just like salvage glitching. I don't know what you would call this. So by building and then like fake salvaging, you don't actually salvage stuff, but you can move stuff off the grid that you're otherwise constrained to. Going to... Sometimes assigning controllers is like the hardest part of this run. We're going to do our co-op strat and do the fast grow again. And finish growing all the linen. The salvage glitch isn't like game breaking, but it does make things a little bit easier, and you can move some of like the bigger buildings later on off screen or off grid to free up some space. We still end up getting so much money that we could get the boat size to be gigantic, and we have plenty of space, but still kind of nice to arrange stuff close to where like the map and the sleeping quarters are. Alright, so all the fast growing is done for now. Oops, still... There we go. It's other controller so it doesn't die on me. Alright. Yeah, we do need to go up and talk to a tool. She was going to ask about seeing Albert before, so that's why we didn't even talk to him, because that's where we were going. Now he's going to talk to us about how he wants a sawmill. We don't have the stuff for that yet, but that will move him over, and he should talk about upgrading the... Yep, there he goes. Navigation tool. And this will allow us to set waypoints, which isn't really useful for us, but... Yeah, we're gonna make a pit stop on Greenhalton to pick up some copper and some maple. And then we are going to do a summer-related mini game. So Summer has breast cancer, or died of breast cancer in real life. And so this is her game's like representation of dealing with cancer. And there will be a dragon that shows up, and we need to clear these like bad nodes that are attached to the dragon at certain spots. And then luckily for us, they're going to be quartz in game, so we do get resources from doing the minigame like we do for all the other ones. Oops. Grab a couple extra berries while we're here, and I'm going to dive for extra resources that we can sell later on for some money. But yeah, Summer was a agronomical engineer or something like that, and worked for some large corporations, so she was exposed to a bunch of chemicals doing her work, and like fertilizers and stuff, and that's how breast cancer came about. Astrid. So yeah, obviously anytime you see a exclamation point, that's usually a quest related thing. She's just kind of talking about how she wants a foundry so she can smelt some ores. We don't have the resources for anything at the moment, but we will soon. Once we get quartz, we will be able to build a loom, which is Gwen's kind of go-to. She's the weaver of the group. We're gonna go ahead and plot our next spot ahead of where we need to go, since we're already in this area. And here's where we do the dragon bit for Summer. You'll see the nodes. This is the quartz dragon. This will be the quickest and easiest of the dragons. That'll pop up over here. And then we kind of make our way back left and pickaxe some more stuff on the way. The nice thing is once we do the dragon once, we can just plant quartz on the big sea turtles, and then we can pretty much farm these resources without having to do the mini game over and over. That'll come in handy later on. We'll talk to Summer once again. Kind of satisfy satisfy her quest line for a little bit. We already did that, so now we can build the loom, and that will bring out Win. Will kind of tell us how to do stuff and whatnot. We'll have a bunch of fiber that we can go through. Talk to her. Then once you do one, you can talk to Gwen again, so we'll just kind of do one, cancel out, and progress her quest line, and then we're going to try and go through quite a bit of fiber. If you get it right on the middle dot, which for linen is relatively easy, you get 3 linen thread. So it goes from fiber to thread, and then eventually once we upgrade the loom, we can make fabric. So close, where you get the little gold, you get 3. If you get close to the thing, but it doesn't light up, you get 2. And if you're pretty far off, you only get 1. Now we have the next jelly event. Win again. At this one, we're going to get 2 green jellies. And then we'll need to go to 1 more jelly event to get 4 more. And that should be all the green jellies we'll need for the whole run, basically. Get this guy. Favorable pattern. I'm gonna play it safe. I'm not gonna try and miss this green jelly. Okay, so we got our 2 that we needed, and each one gives us 4. So I guess technically we got 4 total, and not 2. But here we're gonna do our thunderstorm event that we didn't do earlier, because now we have extra bottles. Gonna go ahead and build the sawmill. Now that we have the linen thread, we may not get too far in the sawmill stuff before a tool gets taken out because of the thunderstorm, but so he fixes up. A tool's the handyman, and he fixes up. It's already raining. I'm just gonna go ahead and wait outside. He fixes up a bunch of stuff on the ship, and maybe I did have time. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we had 12 earlier, so we need 5 more. One, 2, 3, 4. I think Daffodil got 1 too, but I'll get 1 extra. Alright, so we should be good on lightning and bottles. Lightning and a bottles. I don't know how you would say that. Those are plural. Lightnings and a bottles. Lightnings and bottles. Whatever. We have what we need right now, is what I'm trying to say. So here we're going to head up to our last jellyfish event. Try and go pretty close to this little there's a bunch of these little crate sections around. If you sail through them, the ship will slow down a little bit. So we need to head to somewhere around in there. Do a bit of sawmill work. This little minigame, you just move up and down and try and saw as close to the line as you can. The most that we'll be able to get will be 4 logs, or planks from these logs. Usually I expect 2 or 3. That will kind of progress a tool stuff. Go ahead and cut 5 of these. We'll need resources for building and improving or upgrading some buildings in a little bit, so might as well cut what we need. Whoops, missed there. And by the time we finish this, we should be about into the jellyfish event. If I remember where to go. Okay, yeah, we're good. Go ahead and talk to the tool while we're here. No big deal. He's gonna want his own little house, but he unfortunately won't get to that for quite a while, so he'll just be stuck on the boat without a house for for a long time. Sorry, buddy. So in this one, we're gonna get 4 of these little green jellies, and it'll give us 8 total, but we only need 4 of the actual like jellyfish. There's 1. I think we got a good pattern on this one. I can't remember. I think it'll be like 1 down and then maybe 3 together up top. We'll find out in a second. Nice. Okay. Yeah, and so if you've ever seen Sundered or Jotun, then you'll recognize like the way this game looks and the way it sounds. I'm gonna grab one more just in case. Which are other games from Thunder Lotus. A very distinct visual and sonical element to them. Really enjoyable games. Highly recommend all of them. This one's a lot more chill than Sundered and Jotun, but very good game regardless. We're gonna talk to Gwen, and then that's gonna progress her quest point, which is handy because the island we're going to next will have something to do with that. Phil's gonna warn us that he may be asking for some food later on. That's fine. Oh, while we're on our way, we want to. If you put sawdust in the oven, it will create coal. Also, I'm going to take a bit of a time loss here, but I am going to go ahead and salvage glitch the sawmill off the grid. Yeah, I really enjoyed Sundered. I do want to go back and play, because from the time I played Sundered till now, they've made it co-op. So I am curious to try that cooperatively. We're going to do our salvage glitch here and move. I'm just going to go ahead and move the sawmill off screen like that. We've also kind of done all our jellyfish stuff, so I'm just going to move everything kind of down. And then that way, that'll be kind of taken care of, so we don't have to worry about moving stuff around in a little bit. But this is a representation of Gwen's parents. So she came from a very well-off family, aristocratic family. And this was their villa in Italy that they owned. Villa Maggiore or Maggiore. I don't know. I don't speak Italian. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but this big old villa that like a maze with ladders in it. So she's looking for a music box, and that we'll find at the top of the villa. And on our way, we're gonna make a little detour and grab this chest for an old carpet, which I think the old carpets sell for like 1,000 glims, so that's a pretty good find. So now we have a loom upgrade as well as a music box to give to Gwen and kind of continue her questline on. Grab some linen thread as like a little backup just in case. I think we have enough linen seed already, but never hurts to grab the free stuff. Yeah, I guess. Oh, it is nighttime. The classic downfall of many local couch co-op gameplay is where you both share the same screen. Definitely know how that one goes. Now that we have all that done, we're going to head back to our turtle pal, Olga, to get some resources and then stop by Albert's shop. Gwen's going to talk about upgrading the loom with the loom upgrade we just found. We should have the resources for her. I'll ring the bell and she'll come back over here. And then now we can make... we can turn linen thread into linen fabric. This is a little bit more difficult to get right on the dot, but it's still a lot more doable than some of the other fibers we'll be messing with later on. We're going to head to Olga, grab the resources we planted earlier, and then plant some more, then head to Albert to upgrade the blueprint station and also unlock the mailbox. We'll talk to Gwen now that we've made the... Oops. Hard to talk to her sometimes. So might as well just make all this into linen thread at this point. We'll have to eventually anyway. So, yeah, there's a lot of doing this later on in the game where you're turning resources into other resources using different buildings. We have the loom, we've got the sawmill, we'll have a foundry, we'll have a crusher, we'll eventually have a the other thing, smelter, I think. All right, so we're back at Olga. I'm gonna keep doing this and just get rid of all the linen fiber we have while we're here. Usually I like to keep moving while I'm doing this stuff, but we're already into it, so it is what it is. Not too bad. Okay. So Atul is going to be asking for some popcorn. Oops, I forgot we already did this. We don't need to talk to her again. Now we're going to get our limestone while Daffodil gets on the shell, because we need Daffodil to cut down the trees. We're going to cut down our oak and our maple trees. We've got our limestone already, and then we're going to plant 1 maple and then 2 quartz. Plant the maple. Exciting. There we go. I'm going to plant our quartz, which is this kind of whitish looking thing. We'll let Olga know we are done. Appreciate all you do. Best characters. We'll just talk to Atul while we're here. So he's gonna want some popcorn for himself, but we kept the popcorn from earlier. Give him that, and then we can upgrade the kitchen. He's gonna give us the kitchen upgrade. We'll put in some more, like our sawdust is ready to be taken out of the oven. We get 5 coal, put in 5 more or 4 more sawdust. We do need to cut some more wood, so that should probably be enough. I don't quite remember the amount of fabric we need, but this should be good for at least right now. I'm gonna try and make some linen fabric and then also cut some oak trees or logs before we get to Albert, so we can upgrade the blueprint table and also get the mailbox. I believe those are like the limiting resource factors for that stuff. I think we have everything else covered. And then we'll sell whatever we've picked up to Francis. He's almost always at hanging around Albert. He's kind of floating around everywhere in the map, but you can always pretty much count on him being at Albert's. If you don't want to like actually go and navigate to him specifically. Probably just go and cut through all these oaks while we're here. Let's kind of sit at Albert's for a couple extra seconds. And then you always know if Francis is there because he has this very unique little music down there. Alright. A little bit of dead air as we sit there going through the wood, but sell our tchotchkes. And now we're going to upgrade the blueprint station, assuming we have all the resources, and also unlock the mailbox here. Oh. Yeah, and Albert's thing is telling like dad jokes basically. So every time you go visit him, if you talk to him, he'll give you a joke. I think that's actually one of like the trophies is hear 10 jokes from Albert. So some pretty good stuff, pretty good humor. Like I said, every character's kind of got their own little like personality and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Definitely, again, highly recommend just any Thunder Lotus game. But if you're looking for a nice chill game that can get kind of sad at times, then this is the game for you. Doesn't completely take out the sadness when you're doing the speed runs, but it does lessen the sad levels a little bit when you're kind of mashing through everything and trying not to think about everybody's stories. All right, so we got who is this? I can't remember his name. Alex. How could I? We're gonna stop by Alex, grab the bus stop, take it back to where we were, and then we're gonna head south. This will be kind of like the phase in Stella's life where she went and traveled around Japan. So everything will have a kind of a Japanese flair to it. So we are heading to Mount Toroyama. A bit of 99-ish, and then... is it 34? Could be close. So good. Summer here is going to be asking for her own house as well. Sorry, Atul, but we are going to oblige Summer because we need... oh, alright, so we do need 1 extra limestone. We will get rid of the field momentarily. And that can happen if you don't get enough limestone from your nodes. Which, that's why we fast grow all the linen, so that if we do need to take out the field for a little bit, it's not a big deal. Actually, I do want to go ahead and should be able to make foundry as well. Yeah, okay. So the foundry is kind of tough because it takes up a lot of space, so I need to rearrange some stuff. That up here, and we are going to salvage glitch this big boy. Get that off screen, that way that frees up everything. Alright. I guess we can go ahead and do this. This is tied to Astrid stuff. This is where the coal will come in handy. We're going to turn 5 copper ore into 5 copper. This is where I'll try and keep track of what resources I've been manipulating and collecting and whatnot. The nice thing with the foundry is once you get to a certain point, it'll like continue going by itself. You can kind of go and just do some other stuff while you wait. And it'll spit out whatever you put in there, and you don't have to pick it up immediately, and it'll be there next time you go there. But since this is related to Astrid, we'll go ahead and talk to her and pick up what we made. Just do maybe a couple more logs on the way. We need to collect some stuff, some gems basically on Mount Toriyama before we interact with Summer again. So we'll just leave her kind of waiting for the moment. And we'll meet another spirit here, but we won't pick her up until quite a ways later. She has some stuff tied to her before she'll join you. and see some sheep. So this is Alice. She'll be a nice old little lady, a little hedgehog once we do some stuff. First, she wants a sheep, so we're gonna come down here, feed the sheep a berry. It'll follow us, and we can lead it to Alice. We'll meet her once we do summer stuff later. Now we're going to go inside of the mountain and get a bunch of materials. Yeah, I think the hardest part of the 80% run is definitely keeping track of all your resources, and nothing's like too crazy. Like, the worst that'll happen is you just spend a little bit of extra time if you forgot something at like an island or something. But it's a really chill run. Sometimes like forgetting to finish or like not prolong, but progress different spirits quests can come back to bite you. Just like little things like that. It was one of those runs where it was a lot of fun to play through, take notes, and like try and try and optimize routes and stuff. Once we've kind of collected all that we need, we'll save out, and that'll take us to the start, or the rowboat, basically. Summer's going to ask for 3 gems, and now that we collected those, we can give it to her. We'll give her citrine. Got an opal. Also, amethyst. So in return for that, he's going to give us a little lesson on meditation. Once Summer in life got cancer, she kind of broke away from... Oh, here's where we turn in our sheep. Alice will ask for another sheep, so we'll have to come back once we feed and have another sheep follow us. In Summer, she met Rose, which was Stella's aunt, I believe, too. And I think when Rose died, either when she died or after or before, they had their own garden, so they were really big into gardening and kind of more focused on spirituality and the nicer things in life. That's kind of reflected in this meditation sequence, and Summer just kind of being a pretty chill person. Yeah, because there's a bunch of islands in the game that we don't go to. There's a bunch of spirits that we don't interact with. There's still so much left of the game that you don't get to see even when doing a 5-hour run, which is pretty crazy. Alright, so we finished that bit of quest. The nice thing with doing the meditation is it's also a way to pass time. So in the Gwen percent, it's a really big key into making Gwen progress her quest line. May have screwed up by not being able to sleep before that, but I guess we'll see what happens. Because a lot of the quests are related to, like, you need a certain amount of game time to pass before it'll progress to the next sequence or whatever, so trying to time everything out can be a little interesting sometimes. So here we are going to take a trip over to Gurnu Fields, grab some more resources, as well as find a sheep for Alice. We got some more coal. Put in some more sawdust. Did I get limestone from Mount Toriyama? Oh, okay. Again, we don't really need the field right now, but in the meantime, I will make some more copper ingots. Whoops. Hopes to go to the right spot. And then also I need to cut some more maple logs. Right now we're going to be going through that little crate symbol on the map. And it basically just slows down the ship. And there's random stuff that you can pick up in the water. But I'm just going to ignore it. Make sure that goes all the way through. I don't want to cut too many logs because my log count's kind of weird since I don't have the field now. The field either takes, I think, 10 or 15 maple logs, so I don't want to cut too many and then run out of have a bunch of maple planks when I actually need some logs. Oops. I think we might be too close to the island now. And I think I'm good on bread for now. I'm gonna drop down and go visit fields to pick up some oaks and then get the berry for the sheep. Get a swig of water. Yeah, like the co-op run makes resource management a little bit tougher to track, but a lot easier to do since you can split up and do two things at once. So like middle and late game goes a lot quicker. You're able to do two different things at once. And I guess technically you could do like a 1P2C situation, but that sounds not fun to me, so I'm gonna stick with, oops, just trying to grab some berries. Sometimes like picking the right thing when there's a bunch of objects or people close together can be kind of tough, but we got there. We got our second sheep for Alice that'll follow us. Grab this while we're here. Eventually we'll have enough like trinkets and gems to sell that we don't need to worry about money anymore. I don't really know exactly when that is, so I'm just gonna keep picking up stuff for a while. Just in case. Probably need to figure out eventually like what the point is where you don't have to get more stuff. I'm gonna go down south to Iwashima countryside. And this will be where Astrid will start asking around for Geo. We'll do our last bit of copper. And while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and do... We need 5 glass. So I'm going to go ahead and put glass into the foundry. Take care of that. Oh, yeah, we have plenty of glass bottles. Oops, need some more coal. We'll just keep making coal in the kitchen for now, since we don't need it for anything else. Depending on what you put in the foundry, it'll use up different amounts of coal. Like the later items and kind of higher grade items, I guess if you want to call them, will use up a little bit more coal, either like 2 or 3 pieces. So it's nice to have a stockpile of coal for later on. Let's see if we can cut. Oops, no, not maple. Got 1 maple while we're... Alright, so unfortunately, Astrid was not ready beforehand, so we'll do everything on the island first, come back, and hopefully she'll be ready to look for Geo. Grab some backup mushrooms. Which, her not being ready before you get to the island isn't a huge deal. There's 3 trees we have to cut down, and then 2 nodes that we can pickaxe. And then by the time we do all that, oops, that's not a cuttable tree. By the time we do all that, then she should probably be close to being ready. I was hoping to be able to sleep before doing the meditation with Summer. That way you sleep and pass a lot of time, and then do the meditation to pass a lot of time. But again, it's not a huge deal. We'll get these. Got limestone. I usually get the copper too. I don't know if I actually need it or not, but it's right here, so no big deal. We'll do the old save and quit. Get us back to the rowboat. Lifeboat. Okay, so that showed up, so that does mean Astrid will be ready. It's a male. I think she'll be walking over. Where is she? He's stuck up here? So I guess that would be the only downside to building stuff outside of the grid, is sometimes spirits can get stuck in places that they can't otherwise access or get away from. There we go. So we need to talk to her. And then that will progress her quest, so she'll be on the island now, and we can start looking around for Giovanni. Just kind of got that itch. So she's looking for him again. So I'm gonna ask, just talk to the first spirit we come across. He'll mention something about him, and then Faragawa. We'll let Astra know, and then that will be the next spot where she'll be looking for Giovanni. Now that we have our sheep, we're going to make a little pit stop by Mount Toriyama and let Alice know. And then, due to like just the character of who Alice is, ask for anything, so you basically have to like beg her to come onto your ship. I think is a very nice touch. And like all these spirits, a lot of them are heavily based on people that the dev team knew, like family members or either close friends or whatever. And then a lot of them like had either personality traits or some sort of like character traits based off of people that they knew in real life, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's just like general traits that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to, as far as people they know that are similar to some of these spirits. There's Alice, the hedgehog that we're working on trying to pick up, suffers from dementia, and like that one hit home pretty close to me, because I had a grandma that was in the same way, so a lot of that stuff obviously you can relate to. So that will make some of the stuff hard to get through. You especially relate to certain characters, but also kind of a cathartic way to work through some stuff as well. So yeah, we're just cutting a bunch of oak. Pretty much all the oak logs we come across we'll cut. The maple logs we use to build stuff, which actually you can go ahead and make the field again so I don't forget. But we will give Alice the other sheep, and then eventually work to the point where she's like, well, if you build a house on the ship, then I guess I can come visit and hang out. That'll be the next thing that we'll do for Alice is we need to build her house. Again, sorry, Atul, that we're not building your house, but it is what it is. We have the blueprint for a cottage, but we need iron to be able to make it. And luckily, the next island we'll visit, we'll pick up some iron. We're gonna head to the quarry. Oseki. On our way, I think I'm gonna go ahead and make a little bit more fabric. I do still need linen thread for various things, so I don't want to use too much. Just in case, I'm gonna plant one linen seed. And not too much else to do, so I'll just keep doing oak logs. So again, what we're trying to do is just, whenever we're going from island to island, just always be producing materials or kind of refining them into other items that you'll need. Making sure you have enough resources to build whatever the next buildings or whatnot will be. Right now and for quite a while, we'll be on the move a lot. Later on in the game, towards like the last hour or two, we'll get to the point where we need to focus more on just resource accrual, basically. And we'll kind of be dead in the water as far as ship movement, but we'll just be getting a ton of resources. We've come across the quarry. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more sawdust in the kitchen while we're here. And the sawdust takes a long time to cook, so to speak, so once we get to a certain point with the coal, we should be fine, but eventually we'll have to start cooking actual like food stuff for various quest related things. We're gonna do a bit of pickaxing. And there's like 3 or 4 iron nodes, which will come in really handy. And we'll still have to plant iron on the turtles. There's still quite a few turtle visits that we'll have to do. Later on, with the time manipulating that we can do. Whoops. Yeah, if you hold the pickaxe just a little bit too long, it'll break and you gotta wait a second. But with the time manipulation strat, we can just pretty much hang out at one of the turtles and do a bunch of item like duplicating, basically. Makes the run go a lot quicker than if you did not have access to any way to manipulate time. So the spirit, that spirit in particular, is definitely the MVP of the run, for sure. A little secret chest to give us some valuables to sell. Let me get a couple more iron nodes, and then we're going to a spirit in here is going to give us 1,000 glims to keep quiet on his little secret room he's got. A little bit of extra money. And if you follow the power lines up there, little secret compartment where this dude's just kind of hanging out. He's like, please don't tell anybody, I'll give you 1,000 glims. And we're like, okay, cool. We got all that we needed from the mountain, or the quarry. It'll be nighttime by the time we get back to the boat. Might be able to... Nope. Just ran out of time. Let's say we could potentially plot the course for the next island and then go to sleep, but whatever. So once we wake up, we're going to plot course for Uragawa. That'll be where the time wizard will be, Gustav, which we can't pick up on the boat quite yet. We'll run into him and start his quest stuff, but we won't be able to actually pick him up for a little bit. In the meantime, we need to put some iron in the foundry. The iron is really nice because it's really slow once you start the needle. Like, you got to keep the needle within the little, like, the good zone once everything's glowing green. And once you get it in, it'll pretty much stay there. So you get it far enough, and then you can just leave, and you can come back when it's done. It's one of the slower ones to finish overall, but you're at least able to do stuff in the meantime, so it's kind of nice. So while that's cooking, we can come down here and sawmill some more oak logs. I'll probably start 5 more before we get to the island. Okay, so that's done. Hopefully, ideally we could start this and then skip the little island title card, but I don't think we're gonna make it this time. Which is fine. So Astrid will show up on the island. We'll kind of do the same thing that we did earlier. Where she'll ask, you know, you need to find out if he's been here. Talk to the first spirit you come across, and they'll talk about Geo. And then she's kind of fed up, so she's like, alright, whatever. We'll find out later that Giovanni is a bit of a... he's unfaithful. A very good partner. There's Gustav. He's going to ask about completing a blueprint set. So we're going to go over and talk to another Theodore. Ask about that. He's going to mention something about some lady coming by and buying it. And while we're here, we're going to buy some pork. We're good on rice because we got that earlier. There's a shrine, so we'll exchange 2 more obols and we'll get the glide ability. I don't know if there's anything I can do about the mic. I'm not showing anything on my end, but hopefully enough's coming through. And there's something we can do called vent storage, where if you double jump and you hold to start the glide, but like immediately let go, you're over a vent, it'll store that upward momentum that you'll get. And we'll talk to Gustav again, let him know what the deal is, and he knows, or he at least has a good idea of who it is. So he gives us coordinates to go check out and see if it's this collector that's been gathering up all the art and stuff. Here we're gonna hop on top of the top. Hop onto the top of this building, and then do the storage glitch where you get a little bit of an extra vertical boost, and that will allow us to grab that chest a lot easier. We'll come back and pick up Gustav eventually, but we need a big ship upgrade that we can't get until we take somebody to the Everdor. Oh, I never upgraded... Uh-oh. Never upgraded Gwen's house. That's big. Uh-oh. That's the potential problem. Or you can forget to do something. I actually need Gwen to be out and about. Okay. This may cost a little bit of time. Because you gotta wait a certain amount of in-game time for Gwen to get to the next point where she's ready to like move on, basically. Without any way to manipulate the time. I don't know how long that'll take, actually. That could be a problem. Might just be like one day night cycle in-game, but... one of the few things that can be a problem is if you forget to do one thing, especially a quest related thing. We need to go pick up Alice, go do an Alice related minigame, and then we need, usually by now Gwen's already ready to go. You did things properly. Hopefully after a night she'll be ready. Let's see, what else can we do? Might have to always go like visit Olga or somebody, get some more resources while we wait. In the Gwen percent, that's where you'll go see or do the meditation with Summer, and that progresses time enough that you can then quickly talk to Gwen in her quest. Since we don't have any more meditation that we may just have to wait it out. Build Alice's cottage. Go ahead and put that on the bottom, on the the ground level of the ship. Eventually we'll need to anyway. She's a nice little old head. We'll let Alice know that her house is ready, and he's we'll bring her on board. Yeah, I may have really screwed up Gwen, actually. I forget to upgrade her house. So that'll be interesting. Visit parts of the map where we can't access right now, so she's, I think, pretty much has to be the first one to go. Come back up, hopefully. Where'd she go? There she goes. Of course, the Peep is going to go where she can't. In the meantime, we're going to do this pill bug event, which is actually in the run. We'll use it to make a event and then also get the orchard later on. Why not? Oh, but worst case, we just have to wait through an extra day, I think. I don't think she'll be ready after sleep-in tonight, but salvage store that. There are little sheep corrals, so you can keep the sheep from eating anything that you're growing in the fields. We'll give him his own little home. That way he's right. So usually if you do things correctly, but instead, we gotta wait a bit. A long time ago. Meantime, let's see, what do I need to go ahead and, oops, that. Back with Gwen's door, it should say that it's locked. And that's where we'll need to just wait a certain amount of time in-game before we can go inside. And once it then we'll have to wait. I'm gonna go ahead and just move her house around since we have some time. I screwed up the stuff. The air draft, we'll put that beside her. And we'll use that for a very specific thing. So he's gonna ask about dinner. I'm hoping that once we go to sleep and wake up, he'll be ready, but I don't know if it'll be enough time. Collect some iron ingots. If there's any more wood to cut, we'll go ahead and cut this. A little bit more time. About on the ship when it's time to go to sleep, and when you can't move the ship anymore, it will pop out and say like, hey, it's, you know, it's too late, you need to go to sleep. I always thought it was kind of funny. Oops, not this. Use the bed. Worst case scenario, we'll just have to wait a little bit longer. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the oak logs while we're here. Give it a little bit of extra time. Yeah, ideally in a run, once you upgrade the kitchen and Gwen's house, just go immediately talk to Gwen. Alright. Nope, still not ready. Alright, so Tool's just gonna ask. Now we just kind of go back and forth between islands until Gwen's ready. Since I screwed up the timing. He is ready to go. Okay, not too bad. We just had to wait till nighttime. She disappeared. We find out, we figure out to go to the villa where she is. And eventually she'll ask for a hug. And then it'll get her to the point where she's ready to go to the to the afterlife. But when spirits get taken to the Everdoor, they leave behind a spirit flower, and that will be essential in that's all ice, so we need to be able to break through the ice, and we need spirit flowers to be able to upgrade the ship. There's also, you can barely see it, there's a mist barrier around this northeast quadrant, and then there's also an ice some other barrier that we gotta break through. But in the meantime, we're gonna take spirit, or but we'll get to see it now. It's like the iconic Spiritfarer location. We are going to do a vent storage on this air draft. There's 3 separate these Hades events, where since this is kind of like Stella's memories, basically, in each of these 3 events. We're just kind of, where'd Gwen go? It kind of goes back to her life, and you can see her interacting with different people, and since we have the air draft, we are able to skip all of our like memory events, basically. And it's really just like these separate pieces come together, and we've talked to Gwen, and then each spirit that you take to Everdor, they've got this like long little rowboat, dialogue heavy. But it's kind of like the bread and butter of the game where you get all the good stuff. Also a good spot to whoops. So yeah, even though Gwen had a very wealthy family, she did not get along with her father at all, and she's got a young age, and eventually got lung cancer because of it. And so that is what finally did her in. But we get eventually all the spirits turn into constellations that you can see in the night sky, which is pretty cool. She'll go up, become a constellation. Upgrade the ship going forward. Normally you interact with these little butterflies, and they'll, these dark pieces in the wall in the back, they come together and form a picture. But hopefully if we still have, yep. So with the storage booth, we're gonna watch the first one since that didn't work. So this is what you're skipping eventually. This is showing Stella's like the little golden child. From here, you don't. There we go. Double jump and you can skip the second memory bit. Jeez. Tough platforming this time. Should just be able to jump to the right. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Huge wispy like owl, and will talk to us and say we still have work to do before we'll meet again. Cryptic messages from Hades. Let's see, we need to go by Olga real quick. We're done with the prep. Wynn's house. Because usually the salvage stuff only works for building. But if you overlap them, then you either save and quit or visit an island and come back. You'll be able to move since she has moved on. We're gonna visit Olga here and grab our resource. Cut down the tree once Daffodil catches up. Now that Daffodil is here, we can cut down. Quartz, iron, one. And we're gonna head up to Albert. Now that we have the spirit flower, we are going to be able to unlock an icebreaker, and then go ahead and feed those to a tool. There's really no rush because a lot of Atul's quest stuff will be taken care of by like the We'll go ahead and start cooking some meal-related things instead of just sawdust. These won't come into play for quite a while, but we'll go ahead and prep them anyway. From him. Now we're going to upgrade our boat size a couple times, as well as unlock the icebreaker. Oh yeah, the rocks is what the barrier for the southeast section of the map. Now that we have the icebreaker, we can go... move all the other stuff back. So, put some more. Put Wynn's house back there. Then we'll kind of put everything back to where it was. First, we want to have room. But I'm gonna need to build Astrid's house pretty soon. The only bad thing with having the boat so but not a huge deal. Alright, so we're just gonna plot a point northwest, build Astrid's. And that will kind of progress her quest line. We're going to be meeting the next turtle sister. Some more food, so eventually we'll give him some fried chicken. I thought I did read. Oh, read the wrong letter. Okay, there we go. Feed the sheep and shear it. As we mash. I'm gonna save and quit and then restart it because sometimes when you go to mash it the first time, she like just won't show up. Now she'll be on. Mash it. And one of the deals with Alice is, since she doesn't want to inconvenience you, you basically have to like start her quest by talking to her. So she wants to upgrade the and then part of her quest is just trying on different outfits. He'll suggest we try on this outfit. And that'll be good for a little while. Or kind of gossipy back and forth between her and Astrid. We now have his location. I'm gonna plant these last 2 iron ore we have. Now we are going to go visit the coordinates that Gustav gave us a while ago. So -150 and 150. And when you collect a bunch of different things in the game, that's where you can take them and exchange them for various items from her. Let's see, where... You have anything to saw? Oh yeah, start the orchard. Gonna be doing the fast grow. Break out the controller again. It will fast grow the tree, but it won't fast grow like fruit on trees. But luckily all we need is just for the tree to be grown. Am I in? Oh, not in. There we go. He's gonna mention something about Nordweiler. We'll go visit there in a little bit. I don't know how much of this run you're actually going to be able to see, but we'll keep on trucking in the meantime. And actually go ahead and get rid of the orchard. We only needed the apple tree. I'm gonna go visit Susan's museum. Just trade in the figurine he gave us. She's gonna know who it's from. He's this kind of like snobbish art collector, so we get the and then we will have access to time warping, which is very nice. Why? And Albert will eventually let us know that we need to build or upgrade her house with a HVAC unit. And then once her temperature is controlled inside her, we're gonna go pick up Gustav, and then once we've got him, we'll go visit the island to progress Alice's quest, and Alice portion of the map. Because we'll be able to unlock the rock destroyer, and then we'll get a new spirit, and also progress. Make a little detour to Foragawa and pick up Gustav real quick. So Gustav, since he can manipulate time, we are not going to take him to the Everdoor at all. And eventually. Sorry, buddy. I'm just kind of waiting to get to the island. So we'll go give him the wood block print. Then we'll welcome him onto the ship. Alright, so we got Gustav on board. Is okay, I guess. We don't really need it, but we got it. Now we're going to use the bus stop, and we're going to head to Hummingbird, the bus stop right around there. Then we're going to head north. Should be fine, though. There's a few conversations to get through with Gustav first before we can do the time warping. And if you go through, like, he warps time, and if you back out of the conversation, you can just talk to him again and just, like, never get past a certain point, then you can always have the go ahead and get the HVAC info for Summer's house while we're on our way to Nordweiler. Nordweiler? Our sheep still got food. You should be good on wool. Gustav's got like the exclamation point. We'll be able to do the time warp thing. Alright, so sometimes this can be done earlier in the run. It's all kind of dependent on upgrade and the blueprint. Now we can help out Summer and progress her storyline. I think we have enough resources to go ahead. Yeah, okay. We can go ahead and upgrade Summer's. It's not a huge deal, and now that we have Gustav, like anything that's time related really isn't that big of a deal. That's really the only reason that the Gwen thing earlier was kind of scary, is just because before you get Gustav on board, up to Hummingbird, and then we'll head pretty much just straight north. Blindly go into a spot. Now, let's see. Yeah, everything should be good. Eventually, not Alice, Summer will ask us to and once we visit Nordweiler, Alice will give us. She'll want to go to the front of the boat and kind of hang out. And kind of centered around that. And then once we get into the ice region, we're going to fish for lobster. For a quest-related item. So I'm still not 100% sure that we actually need, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and get it, just in case. The Gustav. And he starts as like long dialogue, and eventually the screen fades to black. And that'll be when the time warp happens. So usually it's like it moves one piece. So like from morning it'll go to afternoon-ish, or from afternoon it'll go to night. So if you do that, if you talk to him twice, I think it just like kind of completely goes through. And as long as you back out, once the screen kind of fades back in from black, then you can do it again. Oh yeah, I need to fish. Whoops. So it's a really neat time manipulation strat. Really simple. If you keep him along on ship, you can progress everything else a lot easier. I don't think this is a lobster. Into the next island. No big deal. So Alice just kind of wants to visit around this place. We're gonna shear the sheep. Should have enough wool. Just kind of remembering things and taking a stroll down memory lane. We're gonna exchange 2 more obols and get the zipline ability. Sources, but there's also a zipline we can put on the ship, which makes getting from one side to the next a little bit quicker. More of just this one's loaded. It's got 2 diamonds and 2 amethysts. I think the diamonds are like 3,500 glims and the amethysts are 20 something hundred. That was a really big haul from that chest. A little bit tired, so we're gonna take her back to the boat. We're gonna do some shopping. No problem. And then we'll like physically escort Alice back to the rowboat here. The lifeboat. Bless her heart. Then who fought in World War II for the trying to charm everybody. And just likes to kind of be the center of attention sometimes and make everybody else much to Astrid's dismay. Whoops. If we get the... Nope, that's not it. Fishing rod right at the very end. I think this one will be a lobster if I don't lose it. Each fish kind of has their own little... Yeah, there we go. Okay. Each fish has their own Talk to Astrid to start this. I'm gonna buy some cotton seeds. And then talk to Giovanni. He's got a bunch of... Welcome him on the ship. Poor Astrid. Oh, she knows what's going on. She still can never like fully leave Giovanni. Is with him on his deathbed. Now that we have all the pretty much all the ice stuff for now. Oh wait, I take that back. We got... And hear the sheep one more time. Should be good on wool, but again, we'll have the sheep around if we need it. He needs us to go by bottom line core where we initially found Astrid, and we need to buy some chocolate. So he's going to give her some chocolate. Fortunately, some... Should have enough wool fabric now. Summer and Alice will be done with their quest lines. We're going to start off by going to Mash up there. Oh, straight the night. Okay. Guess it was further along in the day than I remember. Yeah, now that we have Gustav, we have our instant time warping, which is nice. We also eventually will need Alice to talk to us about wanting to be escorted to the front of the ship. Actually, Summer might have been talking about... Eventually somebody will mention that Alice needs to be on the ship level so she doesn't have to climb ladders and stuff. Since we've already moved her house down, it doesn't really matter. Usually still will start that bit where they ask for house to be moved to the... We already did that, so that's good to go. He also has a daughter, Alice does, named Annie. And later on, we're gonna wear a outfit that makes her think that we're Annie. Just the desire to go to the air door. Actually, now is when she's gonna ask to be escorted to the front of the ship. And that's why we the like magic crystal ball that he floats on the water is pretty cute. I'm gonna visit the aluminum dragon, and that'll pretty much wrap time, and then we escort her back to our house. And then those will be the 2 spirit flowers that we get next. Then we can upgrade the ship to enter the rock area, the rock region on the southeast. Just kind of hanging out. Oh yeah, I should plant some cotton in here. Let's plant the extra linen just in case. This isn't needed right away. Between natural growth and then just interacting with Gustav a few times, we usually grow stuff pretty quickly. We'll eventually need to upgrade his house, all 3 upgrades, and we don't have the resources to do that for quite a long time, but we'll do the aluminum dragon here. A little bit more to it than the quartz dragon. Oops, wrong person. Yeah, so that's one of the downsides to having random houses outside the grid. Okay, unstuck. And usually that's the same basic deal. The dragon again representing Summer's Cancer. We're going to clear it of this. And also get some aluminum in the meantime. Comes in the middle, then the third one. Oops, wrong way. I always forget which way to go on some of these. Ah, sometimes you catch that as it's going up. Whoops, too early. Now we have a bunch of aluminum, and we've progressed Summer's quest. Summer should be good. We're gonna go ahead and put some aluminum in the foundry. Turn that into ingots. When it'll be good. Oh, got a phone call again. I probably should have put my phone on silent after the first time, but here we are. Alright, so Summer's that's gonna go to the Everdor. Put in some more aluminum ore. That going on our and once it gets a little bit later in the day, we'll escort Alex back to her house. Might already actually be ready to go, but that was kind of cool watching Summer just fall off the ledge there. We're gonna hit up a couple of marble nodes. Finally get some marble. That'll come in pretty handy pretty soon. And so you can't actually go into the mines until you have all 3 abilities that we've unlocked. Which once inside, there's a bunch of zip lines, so you pretty much need the double jump and glide and zip line to be able to get anything useful anyway. Some coal while we're here. Flip across, get this extra little secret chest. Which we're probably getting to the point where we are good on money. Grab another marble node and then grab one more chest just because we're here. Valuables. And we're going to head out and we're going to that will give us access to fire glow seeds, which we need 3 of. Each seed will produce 2 fire glow. Oops, took that too far. Then once we do his fire glow, so much like the jellyfish event, we'll have stuff come from right to left. And the ones that we really are interested in are the ones that show. Got 1, 2, 3. We could save and quit after that. Some of these mini games you can't. You cannot save and quit after. We're gonna see if Annie, or not Annie, if we're gonna see if Alice is ready to go back to her house. Yep, she's good to go. We have access to Annie's beach outfit now. do a good job of pretending to be Annie. Alright, so what did we get? I think we still need how much aluminum? We need to plant, so we need to build the garden and then plant the fire glow seeds. Do that after we warp to the Everdor bus stop. And again, this will be another good spot for a bathroom break or more water. Which that is the nice thing with the run is like or a good spot to refill water bottles and whatnot. Okay, going to go offline for 5 minutes. I will pause. Thank you for all the